Since the dawn of time, since the days of Achilles, since the day of Caesar, Octavius, and Marcus Aurelius, there has been one question on the minds of human beings. What is the best ad platform? Who will get you the cheapest people to your website to buy things in an efficient way? That's literally Caesar, quote from him right here. Look, it's 2021. You're probably wondering, should I use Facebook? Should I use YouTube? I've scaled businesses to 8 figures on YouTube and Facebook. I have helped multiple people scale to 6, 7, and 8 figures on Facebook and YouTube. I own Hyros, which helps people track their ads correctly to get a higher ROI, and then combine that with the AI on Facebook and YouTube to optimize their ads and get even higher ROI. So I can kind of see what's happening across the entire industry, across almost every single niche. So when I tell you in this video, I'm going to tell you which platform is better in 2021. Well, I got a lot of data points, and so it's probably going to be closer to true than it's not. Or at least better than all the other people screaming like, this is the best thing. We're going to use data. And what you're going to see in this video is that they are better at certain things, depending on your business, depending on the type of funnel you run, depending on what you're selling. It's sometimes better to start on Facebook. Other times it's better to start on YouTube. And so I'm going to be breaking it all down for you in this video. That being said, I can only get to so much in a 15-minute video. So if you'd actually like help with your ads, my team and I have actually helped multiple businesses scale to 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures, actually hundreds of businesses at this point. You can click below and see all the results. You can book a call with us and we will actually help you scale your ads as well. And we'll hop on a strategy call with you and actually show you everything you need to do to scale your ads on YouTube, which I think is the little bit of a better traffic source this year by about 25%. Let me show you why. All right, guys, so let's just get down to it. We're talking about what is going to be the best traffic source of 2021. And if you want my overwhelming decision, I'm going to give it to you at the end of this video. But you have to ask yourself, with these two traffic sources, YouTube or Facebook, what niche are you in? And I'm going to cover the niches in this video. I'm going to cover kind of my predictions, but these aren't predictions. I see the stats every day, and it's really obvious. Here's what you need to know, all right? It depends on what niche you're in, whether you're in e-commerce or in a certain niche inside of e-commerce. I'll get into certain niches that are very different. Or if you are in high-ticket info marketing, which would be sales call funnels where you're selling an 8K product, etc. Or if you're in consulting. Okay, and so I want to talk about these three because these are really, if you run an online business, you probably fall into one of these categories. All right? So first things first, let's talk about YouTube for info businesses, okay? So look, when you're running an info business, you have to understand that YouTube is by far the most superior traffic source for info marketing, period, okay? So for example, if you check out the page below, I'm not saying sign up or book a call for Iron, but when you do check out that page, you'll see countless businesses that are in info marketing that have crossed the 6 and 7 figure mark, and it's primarily fueled by YouTube. On top of that, when I look at Hyros every single day, the businesses that are crushing the most on YouTube are going to be info business. Now, does this mean e-commerce and other businesses won't crush it? No, it's because when people are watching YouTube, they're in an info consuming mood. They're there usually to learn if you're catching them on YouTube. Now, there's definitely circumstances on YouTube where people are not there to learn. But you need to compare the state that a person is in when they're on Facebook versus the state that a person is when you grab them with an info ad or a education ad on YouTube. On YouTube, they're actively watching something. On Facebook, they're in the line at Whole Foods doing something else. It's very easy to understand why they convert so much better to webinar funnels and why they convert so much better to sales call funnels. I'll be getting into these funnels actually in the next video. We're going to be trying to release about 3 to 4 videos a week. In the next video, I'm going to be talking about the best sales funnels for YouTube and Facebook right now. So the reason why I can say this is because when I scaled one of my info businesses, I was spending anywhere from $15,000 to $25,000 per day. And I'm going to tell you straight up that when I was spending this amount of money right here, the returns on YouTube were significant. So for example, if I was spending 15, 25K a day, what would usually happen is when we did everything back, when we did all the payment plans, completions, or whatever, we're usually doing about 40 to 50K back a day. Okay, and of course there'd be all sorts of other hard costs in businesses and stuff like that. So we could probably lower this down to, I don't know, 30 to 40-ish K a day on good days. So I don't want to use big imaginary numbers. That's about what we were doing around this time. So that being said, When I run these same exact ads on Facebook, I would get a much lower return. That's why I think if you're an info marketer right now and you're running ads on Facebook, it's just silly, because I think the number one reason why they perform so much better is that key, they're already watching something mentality. And info is sold with sales videos. Okay, info is sold with sales videos. People don't know who Tai Lopez is because of his Facebook ads. They know who he is because of his YouTube ads. Okay? So that's what you need to focus on right here. 2021, by far, if you're in an info business and you're not running YouTube ads, you are missing out on growing your info business immensely, because what's going to probably happen now that all the election and everything is over, hopefully the US is about to go like this, and with that comes the demographic that buys info the most. That's going to be your people. That's going to be your middle class to slightly upper class incomes. Okay, the people that have lots of money right now, they're probably not buying info. Okay, now don't get me wrong, info is doing quite well right now. However, as soon as the nation starts to take up again, which I believe is about to happen, it's just going to explode. And you want to be in a position to double down on that with YouTube. Now, let's talk about e-commerce. The e-commerce that works really well on YouTube, there's two types of them. There's high-ticket e-commerce, which is, for example, people may be selling solar power or really high-ticket items. Okay, so you might see people selling solar panel ads where you put panels in your house. They have to be expensive because it doesn't really work. You should check out my video that I'm going to link to right below this video. I'll link to a few of them, but it explains the type of products that work on YouTube and why they usually need to be high ticket. If you're selling little $30 trinkets or the general things that you see people selling in e-commerce, it usually doesn't work out very well. Okay, so first off, if you're running high ticket e-commerce, you want to be on YouTube. Okay, because again, you're going to need sales videos and sales calls to sell these things, and this is superior on YouTube. Now, if you're also running what I like to call entertainment e-commerce. So if you're looking at makeup, if you're looking at e-commerce products that tie into channels with mass thousands of amounts of views. For example, what's interesting right now is if you look at all the crypto channels that are blowing up, if you were selling like wallet devices or things to help people store their crypto, that's a form of e-commerce, and that would do exceptionally well because the channels are blowing up. However, if you're selling weird off things like cat food bowls and whatnot, that could actually do really well on YouTube as well, now that I think about it. I've seen examples like that. What you need to think about when you're running e-commerce on YouTube, and I see this all the time with people where it works and people where it doesn't work, is you need to look at how many people are routinely watching videos that relate to your e-commerce product. It's not really like Facebook where you can easily go and target people based on their interest and then they just buy. I don't know, hats or something like that. It's going to be hard to sell those. However, if you're selling things that relate to the entertainment videos on YouTube, that does very, very well. Now, if you're outside those niches, for example, if like I was in the camping niche on YouTube, that probably wouldn't do very well because it's really hard to find mass amounts of views talking about camping. It's really hard to find mass amounts of views where people are talking about air purifying machines. Yes, the views are there, but they're not there in mass. Okay, you can probably target people that are interested in health and wellness way better on Facebook and then sell them these devices. That works a lot better. And so if you're not in a niche where you can easily make the connection, Facebook is the reigning king of e-commerce. Okay, that's just what you should know about that. Now, for consulting, again, it's another catch-22. Because I've ran extremely profitable funnels. I actually run 2 extremely profitable funnels that are consulting funnels right now somewhat. We could say this is also consulting and SaaS. So at the moment, I run Hybros, which is our software company, which works for high-level ad runners. Okay, so basically a person plugs in the Hybros, they instantly are able to get like a 15-20% higher ROI due to the tracking and AI optimization we provide. That's kind of more almost like a consulting service because we sell something very high ticket and we sell it through a sales call funnel. On YouTube, if I'm running these type of ads, I don't get the same type of easy conversions that I do on Facebook. Now, don't get me wrong, Hybros ads work really, really well on YouTube for us, but they are much, much easier to run on Facebook. As far as my Iron Consulting program, I run a little bit of ads on that, and it's just they perform far better on Facebook. And the reason for this is I can't particularly explain it. I think it's just generally a lot easier to target small demographics on Facebook. Okay, so think about it like this. If you go look at the targeting for YouTube, what you're going to run into is it's very broad mass market. This is the big difference between these traffic sources. YouTube is purely mass market marketing. And so it's really easy to scale from 1,000 to $25,000 a day. It's totally possible to do. I've done it before. If you're in a mass market, the thing is, if I want to target people that specifically run ads or people that specifically maybe like contractors for homes, very hard to do. If I want to target like gym owners, very hard to do. Facebook is as simple as going in and targeting people that fall into that demographic and have CEO, owner, something in their job title, and are the heads of Facebook ad groups. And so it's really easy to run in these niches if you're spending $1,000 to $2,000 a day and be extremely profitable. That's just something you got to keep in mind. Okay. This works incredibly well on Facebook. So I'm saying right now that while it's true that you can totally run consulting and SaaS ads on YouTube, the easiest place to get started is going to be Facebook. Okay. That's what I've seen many times. That being said, if you understand how to tap into and make your ads work on YouTube, you can run YouTube consulting and SaaS ads just fine. I do this all day. It's just a bit more challenging. And so here's what I suggest you do in this instance if you're in this category. If you're in this category right here, you're probably already on Facebook. Or if you're thinking about getting started, start on Facebook to get your copies and your funnel and everything that goes into what you're doing right. Okay? And then what you want to do as soon as you cap out in traffic on Facebook, because here's what's going to happen. When you get to $1,000, $2,000 per day, it actually starts to get quite hard to target business owners. Now, I'm not saying you can't do it. You can definitely scale further than that, but you start facing a lot of resistance. And the easiest way to get past this resistance is then take it to YouTube, take your perfected funnels, and then start slapping it on placements, start slapping it in really layered intent audiences. For example, and you should check out our YouTube guide that's on the channel. I'll link to that below as well. That's going to break down intent audiences and scaling and whatnot. And what you then do from there is you make those layered intent audiences, for example, people that are in the advertising and marketing, layered with people that make over $50,000 per year. So you don't want to get people that are below that because they obviously aren't business owners. And that works really well as well. And so if you actually go and look at my YouTube ads for Hyros, let me show you an example. You can see down here for Hyros, we're at about $131 per call. And then if you come over here to YouTube, it's a little bit higher, but I find the quality is a lot higher. Okay, you can see some of these are really profitable. For example, this one right here, I think we're getting like a $24 cost per call, and it did 30,000 ROI. And just off of like literally in the last month, right there, it did $30,000 ROI off of only $20 a day. So like it totally works. Google Ads and YouTube totally work. You can see this one right here. This was at $80 a day. It's $26,000 in total sales right there, and then that's recurring on hires. It works great. You need to understand that's exactly what I just did on Facebook and YouTube. I went and scaled up on Facebook first, and as soon as I start seeing the ROI start to dip a little bit, I also then just take it over to YouTube. And I perfected the funnels on Facebook and then just drove them right over to YouTube, and it works great if you understand how to do that. My only suggestion for these type of funnels, this is my biggest suggestion for 2021. Yes, it's extremely biased, but check this out right here. So if I go and look at this sales funnel right here, it says I got 8 calls. If I go look at the tracking in Google, it says I got 3. I would have shut down this ad, and the cost per call is great. I have no problem paying $300 per call. That's very profitable for us long term. That being said, if I saw only 3 calls right here, that would mean I'm paying like $500 per call, and that would have turned off the ad. I would have just shut down this ad right here instantly. Right here, 7 calls at $212 a call, that's fantastic, okay? But if I were to cut that in half by the reported 4 calls right here, I would have turned off this ad maybe. All right, that would have taken me to $350. If you're running ads like this, first off, based on these conversions and cost per call, it's not accurate. So you're just going to be flying all over the place. With a sales call funnel or a high ticket funnel, it's the most important thing to be tracking this way. Get Wiki reports, get Hyros, set up your own custom thing. I don't know what you want to do. Okay. But more importantly, with these type of high ticket funnels as well, for consulting, just giving you one last piece of advice, you need to be looking at the ROI, because you can see right here, there's ones down here where it has a great cost per call. Let's go and find one with a really good cost per call. Really good cost per call, no sales coming in right here. Really good cost per call, no sales coming in right here. Now, this is a weird example because I'm pretty sure these will generate sales because I know how to Hyros data trends. But a lot of people just run based off the cost per call, and they're buying all these calls that are really cheap that don't turn into sales. Or they're buying all these opt-ins that are really cheap but don't turn into sales. And when I was scaling on YouTube, from about $10,000 to $15,000 per day to $25,000 per day, I must have wasted at least almost $5,000 to $10,000 a day in ad spend sometimes on opt-ins that weren't actually generating sales because I wasn't able to track like this. So that's just a bonus tip right there. So that, guys, is my analysis of 2021 and what you need to be looking at based on the business you're in. If you're in info marketing, get on YouTube. Just do it, okay? If you're in e-commerce, think about what type of e-commerce you're doing. I'm not saying this other type of e-commerce over here, hats, maybe like stuff where you can't tie it directly into videos isn't going to work. But if you can tie it in entertainment videos, for example, if you had like a facial roller device that irons out wrinkles or something like that, and you were going and sticking that on makeup and cosmetic video ads, that would crush it, okay? And if you are running a high-ticket e-commerce object, think about like, I don't know, you ever seen like those John Deere tractors? If you had something that was like really good like that and you were putting this on farming videos and whatnot, where people have to make this large investment and you can get people on the phone, you can really work with that traffic, because just with a little bit of traffic coming in from YouTube, you can sell, you know, a $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 object from that phone call. So if you're paying $100 per call, $200 per call, that's fine. Finally, if you're in consulting, what I suggest you do, consulting and SaaS, start on Facebook. Once you have your stuff working, you're going to start hitting a cap, because you're not going to be able to scale as further or as far on Facebook, because what you're doing is you're working with these micro small audiences that are really easy to target on Facebook. And as soon as you start hitting a cap, move over to YouTube and then start scaling them with each other, okay? And that will kind of give you your total reach right there. So all in all, guys, this has been the Hyros Train for the day. Subscribe to this, because I'm going to be releasing, I think, about 3 to 4 videos a week right now. We're going to be talking about the type of funnels that are working best right now based on all the data I've seen at Hyros, based on everything I've seen in my experience in the next video. So you're probably going to want to see that. Final, just a little call to action. That tracking problem I brought up earlier, if you want to fix that, you can fix that at Hyros below by booking a call with us. We have a 90-day refund guarantee on it. If you don't see the problem fixed and you don't make more from your ads, you don't pay. That also being said, if you want to get on YouTube, I have the most successful YouTube coaching program of all time based on results. You can click below and look at the results, and you can draw your own conclusion from that. If you're interested in any of those things, book a call. We'll help you out. Other than that, thanks for watching Hyruleans. I'll catch you in the next video. This has been Alex Becker, and be careful with those Bitcoin investments, guys. Invest in your ads. Much better. Maybe. We'll see you in 5 years.